Welcome back to Let's Talk Sports. I'm CJ Tully, and the AL is shaping up to just be mid this year. Let's talk about it. What's up, everybody? I hope you're all doing well. And like I said, the AL just may be shaping up to be mid this year. Nobody really wants to take the reins and take things over here. Now, I'll start by breaking down some of the divisions because I think this gives you the best perspective as to who the teams are that we should really be looking at to compete this year and who may just be the teams that are just sliding in here, kind of sleeping their way through the season. So, starting off in the AL East, you have the Tampa Bay Rays. And this has been the biggest surprise for me so far this season. They won 2 of 3 this past weekend against the Marlins. And this season, they have the best record in the AL, sitting 30-15, and they're leading, again, everybody in the AL. And, of course, they're leading the AL East with that. They are knocking off the Yankees here, who the Yankees now fall to 3 games back in the division. They lost 2 of 3 to the Mets this past weekend in the Subway Series. Now, we know Ben Rice has been playing well this season. He had a little bit of an injury, but he's starting to pick it back up since coming back. Aaron Judge has played well. You have Cody Bellinger having a very surprising season this year. The pitching with Cam Schlittler and Max Fried has been absolutely phenomenal. So we're seeing a lot of good here with the Yankees. Now, again, losing the series to the Mets, not the best look for you, but this is still a Yankees team that I think will be competing, and they're obviously one of the best teams in baseball right now, and obviously the second best team in the AL right now. Now, you go through the rest of this division, the Blue Jays, they look like they really don't have an identity yet. Now, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hasn't had a bad year. He's hitting about 280, but just 3 home runs, so you're not getting the power out of him. Cody Clement, he's had himself Ernie Clement, sorry. He's had himself a good year so far for the Blue Jays as well. That pitching staff has dealt with some injuries, but they're seeming like they're getting things together as well. So maybe they're a competitor, but since losing that World Series, it doesn't look like they really have their identity yet this season. The Orioles are another team just like that. They really haven't gotten their identity. They've been literally just a 500 or lower team all season long. They have not really put anything together. They've had some streakiness with some of their better players, such as Gunnar Henderson and Pete Alonso. Adley Rutschman had a nice start to the season, but they're not really putting it together. And the pitching staff with the Orioles has been an issue for as long as I can remember at this point. They've had great lineups, and the pitching staff has just not been able to support them with anything they've done in the past few seasons. So maybe that's where we're seeing some issues here with the Orioles. But again, that lineup has been very streaky as well. The Red Sox still not completely out of it. They fired Alex Cora. We know everything that went on with that. Jarren Duran has been horrible this season. The average has not been there. The on-base percentage has not been there. So that's somebody they were probably looking to trade some point this season, but now I don't know if that would be the case, if anybody would really want to take that on. You have Roman Anthony. He's dealt with some injury. He's been streaky as well. So nobody has really gotten it going for this team. They still have potential. I still love this lineup, and that rotation is lethal when everybody's healthy. Sonny Gray, Ranger Suarez, Garrett Crochet. I mean, that's one of the best 1-2-3s in the league when all playing well and all playing healthy. So I still think the Red Sox have a chance. Right now they're sitting just 3 games back from a wild card spot, and they had one of the worst records in baseball for a while. So maybe the Red Sox can get it together. I do think this division is going to be the one that takes over the most amount of spots here in the playoffs. They could have 3 wildcard teams when it really comes down to it. So we'll see what happens here with the AL East. The AL Central is where it's really interesting for me, though. The Guardians are right now leading the division 26-22, and they get the Chicago White Sox right under them. And this year for the Guardians, they just won 2 of 3 against the Reds, and we know the Reds have been playing well over there in Cincinnati. So that was a big win for them. But this year, it's been some surprising cast members for the Guardians this season. Brian Rocchio, he's hitting just 285, 4 home runs, 226 RBIs, and a 763 OPS. So he's been your leading shortstop there for them. Chase DeLauder, he has started the season phenomenal with a 282 average, 7 home runs, and 28 RBIs. Now, again, a lot of that was bolstered from the beginning of the season, but we're starting to see him get back to being a productive player here on this team. Angel Martinez, he's hitting 266 with 9 home runs and an 822 OPS. So he's been a productive player over there in the infield. And then Jose Ramirez, you haven't really gotten to see him going yet this season. He is hitting just 229, 19 RBIs. Steven Kwan, another guy that I thought they could move at the deadline if the team wasn't really playing up to par. He's hitting just 201 with a 576 OPS and just 10 RBIs on the season. So this Guardians team is leading the division right now without even having their 2 biggest stars shine the brightest for them. So maybe that's something they can look forward to when these guys are playing better. They're only going to get better throughout the season. You have some unlikely heroes right now stepping up, and that's who's been the difference maker. You can also look at the team right under them in the White Sox. They won 2 of 3 over the Cubs this past weekend, and the Cubs were my pick for the World Series. So this is a big win for Southside here. And again, it's been some players that you may not have expected to take things over this season. You have Chase Meadroth. He's hitting 3 home runs, 10 RBIs with 262 average. He's leading the team in average. Miguel Vargas coming over from the Dodgers. He's hitting 247, but has 11 home runs, 29 RBIs, and an 880 OPS. And then, of course, the guy we all know and everybody has drawn their attention to, and Munetaka Murakami. He's hitting just 235, but he has a 934 OPS with 32 RBIs and 17 home runs. So, yes, he's kind of becoming a Kyle Schwarber, in my opinion. You're not going to be hitting for average, but the pop that he brings to this team has certainly been a difference maker for them. And then on the mound, you have Davis Martin. He's 6-1 with a 161 ERA this season, 59 strikeouts in 9 games started. Again, unlikely heroes are who are stepping up in the AL right now to make a difference for their team and to keep them alive. We know the Twins, Tigers, and Royals are all part of this division as well. I'm going to be curious what happens here with Tariq Skubal. Does he come back from his injury? We know he'll be a free agent at the end of the season. He's going to be looking for a big contract. Is it better for the Tigers to just sit him, let him rest, and maybe, or not even for the Tigers, actually. It's better for Tariq Skubal if he sits out, doesn't play the rest of the season, and his stock only goes up then to finish out his career here with the Tigers. But we'll see what happens with that. In my opinion, if I'm Tariq Skubal, I think you should come back, show that you are healthy. Maybe that does help you get a little bit more in that contract towards the end of the season. But if you sit out the rest of the season, that only brings question marks to your health next year when you're playing with another team. So maybe that's something that they do. Maybe they do want to bring him back. Maybe he does want to come back. That would be the difference maker for the Tigers, in my opinion. And then the Royals, they're riding about a 6-game win streak just a few weeks ago. Now they've lost 7 of their last 10 games. This is a Royals team that just hasn't gotten it together. I thought they were starting to turn the page a few weeks ago, like I said, with that win streak. Started to look like the bats were coming alive. Bubic has been phenomenal on the mound. But now here they are again, just 3-7 in their last 10 games. Bobby Witt's played great. Vinny Pasquantino has been streaky. Salvador Perez, one of the worst averages in baseball right now. So there really are no answers right now for the Royals. I thought they would have been getting it together. It just doesn't seem like it's the time right now for this Royals team, sitting at the bottom of the division behind the Tigers and the Twins. So moving now down to the AL West, and this is another division that is pretty much just mid all around. You have the Athletics leading the division right now, and they just lost 2 of 3 to the Giants. Shea Langoliers has been the biggest bat on this team. He's hitting 337 with a 1.0 OPS, 12 home runs, and 27 RBIs. They're sitting at the lead of this division at 23-23. 500 baseballs right now, what is winning the AL West. This is where I have my big question marks as to how much we can really put stock in these teams here in the AL. Then you have Jacob Wilson. He's gotten back to his average hitting ways, a 292 average, 3 home runs, and 19 RBIs. Nick Hertz, he has really turned it on of late. He's hitting 274, 705 OPS with 14 RBIs. Or sorry, that's Jeff McNeil, a great addition they brought over here from the Mets. I said the veteran presence was going to be great, and that's how Jeff McNeil has been playing this season. Nick Hertz, though, he is hitting 269 with a 913 OPS, 8 home runs, 29 RBIs, and 44 walks. Now, Nick Hertz had a very slow start to the season. The pop was not there, but he has really started to turn around, and that's been huge for this Athletics team as they've been able to put some wins together of late. The Rangers are sitting in second place in this division. They're 22-24. They lost 2 of 3 to the Astros this past weekend. Josh Jung, he's finally starting to turn that page in his career, hitting 301 with an 822 OPS, 5 home runs with 20 RBIs. And Brandon Nimmo, he's come over here as well and been a nice veteran piece to this team with its 267 average, 752 OPS, 4 home runs, and 13 RBIs. Again, there has just been so many question marks around the AL. What teams are really going to surge? We do have the Rays and the Yankees on top. I do think those will be your best teams coming into the playoffs. But you look a little bit deeper than that, and besides the AL East, because I do believe that the Red Sox could turn it around with the pitching. I think the Orioles, if that lineup plays to the capabilities that we know that they can. Gunnar Henderson finally starts to get it going, just 10 home runs this season. But if they can flip the page, Pete Alonso even, he could flip the page for them as well. But this is a division that could have the most amount of teams in the playoffs. I don't see the Royals turning it around. I don't really see the White Sox holding on as much as they are. I think just one team will come out of the AL West. Again, 500 baseballs, what's winning that division. Don't see many teams coming out of that division. I do think it's going to come down to the AL East, and I think that is where you're going to find your World Series champion. And it's looking right now like it's going to be the Rays or the Yankees. But again, things can change. It's still very early in the season. Let me know what you guys think again, and I'll catch you next time with another episode. Peace.